and it's about businesses using ClickFunnels to get up and running. And that's all they pretty much have access to. So how would they rebuild their business in 30 days? And I said, oh, that would be a cool concept for me. And what I could share with you, which is, what if I went back to 2015, where my journey really started? Hey there, NAC Warriors. Happy Saturday. So I hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. Yesterday was a very interesting day because part of a group called ClickFunnels 2.0 Newbies, and really excited about it because we do this book club every Friday, and really amazing people who are really trying to help each other grow our businesses while we're trying to serve as many of you out there as possible. Real quick, my name is Angelo, and this is the NAC Warrior show, and what we try to do here is what we do here is help entrepreneurs figure out how to reclaim their health and fitness. And why I brought up the group before right away was because it really starts making you think when you're part of a group that's really trying to help you grow. And a group is super important. And as I started thinking about it, and how could I really help entrepreneurs out there and kind of put things together? And someone I was talking to was saying, actually her name was Allie, and she was saying, what's your story? I haven't heard your story yet. And I said, oh, really? I felt like I've told my story so many times, but unfortunately, if she, who's probably knows me more than most out there when it comes to my journey, does not see it, then I'm assuming most of you don't even see it. So what I thought was, what would be an interesting way to sort of share my story, yet continue on this journey of sharing with you, because there's two parts of the journey, right? My past journey and my current journey. And which one do I share with you? But what popped up in my head, I said, what would be nice right now would be to help people who are, and if you know anything about ClickFunnels, it was built by Russell Brunson, and he talks about kind of leading the people who are sort of like a chapter behind. So I said, okay, let me do that, but what would be a cool way to do it? And he also had this book, if you signed up for it, which is really, really good. It's called, I don't know if you can see that right there, but it's called You Suddenly Lose Everything, 30 Days. What would you do day 1 to day 30 to save yourself? And I said, that's actually, and it's a really good book. And it's about businesses using ClickFunnels to get up and running. And that's all they pretty much have access to. So how would they rebuild their business in 30 days? And I said, oh, that would be a cool concept for me. And what I could share with you, which is, what if I went back to 2015, where my journey really started? I mean, we're all on this journey, but 2015 was when I hit my low. And I said, what if I went back there and I had to start all over? And I promised myself I would never go back there, but I said, but what if? If you're watching this, you may not be where I was exactly that heavy, but I said, what if I built the scenario that you are most likely involved in, which is pretty close to where I was in 2015. So here's a scenario. And over the next, I would say, days, I'm not just going to do 30 days of going through this. I'm going to mix it up and really think about, how I would read. So I'm going to share my journey, right, with you, but I'm going to share also what I would do differently. If I could go back in time, what would I do differently over the next 30 days if I needed to lose weight? So here's the scenario that I'm building up. Okay, I have to rewind back to 2015, and let's say I went to the doctors, and the doctor said, hey, look, Angelo, you have to start losing weight by the end of 30 days, or you will end up in the hospital, or some major tragedy could happen. Maybe I die after 30 days if I don't lose some weight. Now, it doesn't have to be exaggerated amount of weight, like a realistic amount of weight. I just need to start getting healthy. And if I don't and stay consistent for 30 days, then tragedy is going to hit me. And I said, okay, I can do that. And that's sort of what happens to these individuals in the book is they lose everything, and they only have ClickFunnels. So what do we have in our scenario? So I'm assuming that the Facebook group NAC Warriors is still there. I'm going to assume that I still have the knowledge of the NAC Warrior roadmaps, and I have access to internet and all that stuff. And my budget is going to be $200 for the year. So that's how much money I can spend. I can spend it all $200 in the first month, or I could spread it over a year. But what am I going to do with $200 for the next 30 days to help myself lose weight? So that's the scenario. But here's my background, because this is super important. I also have my family. I have a job, and I'm trying to start a business. And actually in 2015, June, when I hit my low, my second son was born. So I have a newborn coming. I'm trying to start a job. I have a current job, and I need to balance all this stuff going on in my life to make it happen. So my time to actually work out and exercise is very little. And so I probably have at most an hour a day. But here's the problem. Like most of you, we don't just have like a chunk, like 1 hour, like straight that we could just dedicate to health and fitness. We're going to split it up, and it's going to be over, by the time I wake up and by the time I go to sleep, I have an hour, or we'll say within 24 hours, I have 1 hour to do stuff with health and fitness. Now, more realistically, that's probably not going to be happening, because, when you spread that 1 hour, it's going to be very thin of what you can actually do. So I wanted to simulate typically what an entrepreneur would be facing, whether you're at the very beginning of starting a business or in the middle or just trying to keep one sustaining. Either way, I'm assuming you're going to be very busy trying to start things up. So with this in mind, so with that background, with the dire need. Now here, I don't want to say death, because you know what? If that was the case, if someone said to me, hey, Angelo, after 30 days, if you don't lose weight, you will die. Guess what? I will lose weight. I didn't have that incentive. The only incentive I had was I woke up and said, I don't want to be this person that I'm looking at in the mirror. That's really where my journey started in 2015. I used to be into running and was doing sports a lot when I was younger. So in 2015, I saw a picture of myself, and when I saw the picture, I didn't recognize the person in the picture. And then I looked at the person in the mirror, and I was disgusted, like absolutely disgusted with the person that I was seeing. And I said to myself, okay, I can't be like this. I've done many different products in the past, or programs that worked, but then obviously I stopped and they never sustained. So here I am, like kind of going what they call yo-yo dieting. I was yo-yo dieting and exercising. It was just like not consistent whatsoever. And so I wanted to never feel like this again, like feeling like that. But the problem is how do I balance all this stuff that's going on, like a new kid, a new business? Probably wasn't a smart time to start a business, but you know what? We don't like our job, so we're stressed out about our job because it's not satisfying. And this is where I was. I was not satisfied with my job. I have a kid coming. I look in the mirror. I'm disgusted. I'm a fat blob, is what I thought about myself when I looked there, and I hated being in my own skin. And I really wanted to be better than that. I really wanted to be better. And so that's at that moment in time when I looked at myself in the mirror, I I'm introverted a lot when it comes to like what I'm doing in my life, and that's changing now. I'm being a lot more open, but at that moment in time, I decided that I was going on a secret mission, a mission for myself to figure out this thing called health and fitness. And I didn't want a yo-yo diet anymore. I was tired of feeling good, then feeling disgusting. Feeling good, feeling disgusting. It was just like this thing that was just like, ugh. I hated that feeling. And so I went on that journey, and I found all the, like, put together all these things, rules, guidelines, and stuff. That's where I came up with the NAC Warrior roadmaps. Was like, how do I start teaching people what I did, because I was successful. And so that was my journey. So I was struggling trying to figure out how to, for once and for all, handle my health and fitness. And so that's when I went on my silent journey, because I needed to try things out. Like I couldn't let people know what I was doing. So if I could go back to that time and change what I did in 2015, knowing what I know now, here's what I would tell myself and what I would do for day one. So I'm gonna do 30 days of this, not in a row. I'm just gonna do 30 days of this journey. So today would be journey one, talking about the preparation and getting into what I would do right away. So if I could go back and say, hey, look, you don't feel disgusting. This would be, so the first part of it would be sort of like five steps. Is that what I put down? I put out like, yeah, the 5 steps that I would do right away. So I would document and celebrate would be like the first part I would do. I would introduce myself to the 4 pillars. I would start preparing my body and my mind. And body split up into 2 things. So that's what I would do initially on day one, or at least I start thinking about it. And documenting in celebration is a big one. This I wish I started from 2015 and documented it along the way, because there are things that I bet if I recorded and had it all there, like sort of like journalizing my journey, there would be things in there that I could have used today that I just kind of blotted out along the way and just said, oh yeah, remember that time? And this is how I handled that. So unfortunately, I don't have that captured. So because the whole idea of what I'm trying to do is show you how to do this, and then you can start either sharing this with others, or you can start inspiring and influencing others to be healthy and fit, whether it be your family, friends, in your network, whatever. And you're going to see when I take you on this journey, and if you follow this journey and do this, what I'm sharing with you, people are going to see you differently. You are going to feel differently. And when you start feeling differently internally and externally, people are going to notice. But there's going to be something about you that they're not going to recognize. And it's almost like you become attractive to them. And they're kind of like, especially people that you've been around a lot, they're going to be like, what is it? There's something different about this person. And they just can't put their finger on it. And that's what's going to happen. And that's the moment when people start coming up to you and start asking you, because you're going to act differently. You're going to be different. And it's almost like probably right now in your own business, like whatever you're doing in your business, people come to you because they're looking to you about something about the business, right? They look at you and they just trust you and they're confident. You attracted people into your business, or even your ideal client or customer came into there because you attracted them, right? If you're the face of the company. And so what was it that you had? And I'm going to show you what you had, but I'm going to put it in context of health and fitness. And people are now going to be like, wow, this guy seems to have it all. Because if you're you're trying to start a business, or maybe you've got a successful one, it doesn't, I guess that part doesn't matter. But from your health and fitness perspective, they're going to be like, whoa, like this person is much more different than, and where it usually happens is at the like at functions where there's food around. They're going to say, wow, there's something different about him or her. And the way that you approach the food, the way your mindset of everything is just going to be completely different in an attractive way. And that's the moment you get to start influencing people. And you won't even know that it's like, it's almost like you don't know you're doing it, but, and I'll give you a hint, I'll tell you right away, it's your NAC, it's your inner warrior. We pull out your inner warrior and for health and fitness, and then people are going to say, wow, what's going on here? And they want to figure it out. And then sooner or later, especially around food, whatever the context is that you're around, which in this case would be food, they're going to start asking you questions. And that's the moment you can start influencing them. And what I'm going to share you is really going to change your life, especially if you struggle with health and fitness, to take control of it up to this point. So day one is so document, right? Document every part of your journey. And not only that, because documenting can do so much more than just not even like just your own journey, but you could use this to help other people, right? You can go back and say, hey, yeah, I had this problem. And it will help you remember it too. And then celebrate. Celebrate is super important. Like, we're so used to like beating ourselves up. We need to celebrate the small wins. And so every time you take an action, especially at the very beginning, you should celebrate. If you're watching this and you watch it to the very end, celebrate. If you take the action that I'm giving you for today, celebrate. So you want to find ways to actually celebrate every moment of the way. Then you get into the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars I'll talk about in another day, because there's a lot to that. But then to prepare your body and your mind. So there are 6 habits when it comes to health and fitness. The 6 habits are sleeping, air quality or air breathing, hydration, motion, nutrition, and your mentality. And the first 2 things or 3 things that I'm going to assume that sleep is out of the picture. If you're in my situation, sleep is out of the picture. Sleep right now is out of the picture for me. I probably get like maybe 4 hours. So sometimes I may come up here looking very tired, but sometimes you just get 4 hours of actual sleep before you have to start back all over again, trying to figure out how to be with the family, how to like get your job done, yet start a career, start a business or work a business till you can actually quit your job. And how do we get this health and fitness thing in? So there's some quick things that we can do right away at the very beginning, day one, that I would do. Number one, from a hydration perspective, I would buy a bottle and I have this one that says 32 ounces. And I would just start with that. Like, so today, if I don't have a bottle that's already marked, I would go to Amazon and I would just go and buy a bottle, and it should be here in a day or two. But I would definitely at the end of this, or even if you want to pause right now, go get a glass of water and start drinking while you're listening to me if you can. Because drinking water alone, if you don't do it a lot, will actually help you lose weight, right? Just naturally, just by drinking water. It will flush out toxins. It will get your body ready for other things. If you can, and most people can't, to prepare your body, I would say that you would want to do a cleanse. Now, this is optional, but this is what I would do. I would start the time, and this is what I did actually 2 years after I started my journey in 2015. Or 2016. It was 2016 that I did a cleanse, and it was the best thing I did. And if I could have, I would have done it a year earlier when I started the journey. But again, I'm teaching you what I would have done back then. So what the cleanse does is it sort of like resets your body. And what the cleanse is a liquid diet of just vegetables. Now, again, before you start and do any of this, talk to your doctor. I did not talk to my doctor. I just bought a Tony Robbins program, and he had a particular individual. I forgot his name. It was on one of the other episodes that I did. I mentioned his name. But Tony got some of his information from was this other individual. And when I bought that individual's book, which is the pH Miracle, what I found there was that he walked you through a liquid diet, and it was just pure vegetables. And I probably wouldn't be as extreme as that pH Miracle that I did, because I lost way too much weight way too fast. But I did it for 10 days. I would probably do it for 3 to 7 days to get the body prepared, because this is not to me, doing a cleanse is not really realistic, but it's a good way to reset the body. That's what we want to do, is reset ourselves. And so doing a liquid diet of super greens, so green powder to put in your water, and just doing soups or juicing. Now, if you're out on the road, juicing can get very expensive because you have to go to stores, or you can find little convenient places that now do juicing for vegetables. I would stay away from fruits. I would just stick with vegetables. And I know that sounds disgusting, but if you it won't take long for your taste buds to change if you do that, like morning, noon, and night. If you can, take a week off. That was not realistic for me, because you may need to go to the bathroom. If the cleanse is working, you may shed off a lot of unwanted, necessary stuff. So having a bathroom around is necessary. But if that's not realistic because you're traveling, you're going to be in meetings and stuff like that, or if you can't do that, then maybe not go so heavy on the cleansing. So that would be my advice to somebody, is that when you do this liquid diet, or cleanse, I should say, just do it for the first day is rough. Second day is like your hunger. Third day is like your hunger days. And then after the third day, you sort of like feel good about it. So that's what I would start doing. Like day one, like right now, if I were to start right now, that's what I would do. Tonight, I would just go and liquefy or do a soup. Soups are really good because you don't have to juice, and you can just take a blender, throw in some vegetables, add in a little water, and just blend it up, heat it up on the stove just a little bit to get it warm, and then that's what I would have. And I would do that for up to 10 days. Today, if I were to do it, I would probably do it for 3 to 7 days. I wouldn't probably do the full 10. Again, that's probably a little bit too much. If you need to eat something a little bit more substantial, I would then eat like a solid vegetable. Like broccoli or something. Try to stay with greens. Water, drink as much, and you can have as much as you want. So like, don't wait for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. Like if you're hungry, get a soup. Like you can eat as much as you want of soup and liquid, and drink as much water as possible too, and put green powder in there. I would do green powder at least 3 times for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, at least 3 times. And then you'll see, like, the one thing I did get from the green powder, which is what I learned from that, is that it didn't, when I usually try to change my diet, I usually get a headache. When I did the green powder, I didn't have that, but you still may run into that. Preparing the body, and this is where I'll end it today. For day one, this is exactly what I do for day one. So first, I buy the bottle. I start the liquid diet for cleanse. I shouldn't say diet. It's just a quick cleanse to get my body sort of like reestablished. And that's probably the roughest part of it, of this whole beginning part for the 30 days. Then from a physical aspect, I would start with just doing a push-up one push up. And if I could and I was feeling good about it, I would do 1 minute of push ups. Very slow, very easy, just get my body prepared. And then I would start tomorrow or the day two, I'm going to start planning out what I'm going to do, but I just want to start taking action. If I have a bottle of water already, I'm going to try to at least drink one of these a day, going forward. Actually, if I'm doing the liquid diet, I'm drinking a lot more than just one of these a day. But I keep saying liquid diet, but it's just a cleanse. And then mentally, you have to shed everything. And I can only say that now because back then I didn't know what I knew. The only thing I did in 2015 was I said, I'm not listening to anybody. That was the only thing I did. I said, I'm not going to listen to what is out there in the marketing. I'm not going to listen. I just picked a program, which to me was running. I just ran. And I started trying to eat a little healthier. And again, rewind a year, I would have done the reset with the cleanse. So that's what I would just start, like, getting rid of everything you know. Like, how long do you have to work out? Like, actually, if anything, write down all the things that irk you about what I just said. Like, write it down, and I just want you to get it on a piece of paper. Write down all the beliefs and things that you think about health and fitness that you're like, this is like a no-no, and this is like everything that I said right now, like you're like, like write those things down because this is what you want to deal with. Because if you've been yo-yo dieting or you've been trying to figure this thing out and you haven't yet, then your mindset, I can 100% say your mindset is what's holding you back. You know what to eat. You know how to exercise. You know those things. So you can do those. But the problem is this thing here in between your ears. And so one thing we need to do is get down on paper or somewhere, and however you're going to document your journey, put down all the things that you are like, this is like a guarantee. Like, I know you have to eat 3 days a week. You can't skip breakfast. You have to exercise for 30 minutes. So I don't do it because it takes too long. All these things that are like you're hardcore on, you need to write those down, because somewhere in there, probably one, maybe even more of those things, one of those is holding you back from success. And why do I start with 1 minute? This is one hint here. Why do I have you doing one push-up and or doing 1 minute? Because at the end of that, what are you going to do? When you get your bottle, what are you going to do? You're going to celebrate, right? You're going to celebrate some way, somehow. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's something you need to come up with. You need to celebrate. Why? Because we're taking small actions. As a busy individual, we can't go out there and do, unless you miraculously move your time management around, you are not miraculously finding an hour or 30 minutes in your day. It's not going to happen. It didn't happen to me. What I needed to do was say, okay, realistically, I have maybe a minute here and a minute there between meetings or something that I'm going to do. I'm going to complete a task, and maybe I have a minute that I can do something. And what we're trying to do is break your mentality here and say a minute is better than nothing. Doing something is better than nothing. And celebrating that and getting used to being like, okay, I got a minute, I did a minute. Okay, I drank some water. That's day one for me. Day one is to get that mindset ready and prepared to really take a look at what's brought me where I am today. Because your mindset, whatever you've done, has brought you where you are today. And maybe part of what you need to do is accept where you are today, right now. And that was one of the things I had to do back in 2015, was look at myself and say, you did this. Nobody did this. Nobody else is in control of your health. You are in control of your health. Nobody's in control of your business. You are in control of your business. No one's going to tell you how to run your business, right? You are the entrepreneur, you're the leader. You, whatever state your business is in, that's because of you. And wherever you are with your health, your relationships, whatever, that's because of your mindset brought you where you are. Yeah, there are some circumstances that probably got you to where you are, but your mindset is what hones in and either accepts your reality or says, okay, this happened, but I'm no longer going to accept this, and now I'm going to take some action and change my life, right? That's where you are with your health and fitness. So we just got to start small. And I know family, especially if you have a newborn, like where I'm starting you, newborn, so family is going to come first, your work is going to come first, and starting your business is going to come first. The last thing on your list, and what I found so far, and I'm confirming this, is if something's not in your top 3 list, it's probably not going to get done. So we got to take that health, which is probably last somewhere on your list, and inject it little by little seamlessly into your top 3, right? So if you're in a meeting and you're skipping over to another meeting, jump in and do a push-up or a minute of push-ups. You can do that, right? Typically, you probably pull out your phone and is like looking at between meetings and probably looking at what your email is. Instead, do one push-up, then look at your email, right? Maybe your reward is to take away something, and when you do something, you get that reward, right? So find creative ways to celebrate and reward yourself for doing the things that you need to do. Today was a little bit longer, but I think this is going to be a cool journey to show you the next 30 days what you would do. If I had to start all over, this would be day 1 for me. And I can't wait to talk to you about day 2 when we'll go a little bit deeper into what I would do next. So right now, if you want to start this journey, it's going to be longer than 30 days because I'm not going to do this every single day. I'm going to spread out the 30 days. But if you want to start today, day 1, get yourself a bottle or at least start drinking it. Step 2, right after this, go do a push-up or do it for 1 minute. Do not skip that. Do that and then celebrate some way, somehow. And then if you are brave enough, tonight, whatever, like start doing a cleanse of some sort, right? Switch over to soups. Go out, buy a bunch of soups. Maybe you'll start tomorrow, but you're going to go out to the store and buy a bunch of soups or whatever. Or, you're going to go out there and you're going to buy a juicer on Amazon. Do something to move yourself closer to a cleanse if you want to do a cleanse. Again, if it was me, I would definitely do the cleanse to get that boost, that turnover. And that's day 1. Okay, I hope this helps you, and I can't wait to continue to share my journey as I came along and go in deeper as to what I did and what I would have done differently knowing what I know now. Okay, with that, have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow.